Back to Doctors versus Dragons or Doctors versus Dungeons, or I still can't work out what we've called ourselves, for session 2 of Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. I guess we should start with intros again really quickly, and I'm just going to do it for all of us and say once again, I am Sarah, your DM, and I am joined today by Sean playing Errowen, by Carmel playing Echofire, and by Eric playing Thorne. Jason was unable to join us this week, but hopefully we'll be back for next time. Now, would you like a quick recap of episode 1 from me, or does one of you want to volunteer to tell us what happened?
Why don't you take the lead on this one, boss?
All right. Opting for a cargo vessel over the pricier passenger ship, 4 strangers found themselves setting sail from the bustling port of Neverwinter, headed towards the mysterious Stormwreck Isle. The first days at sea were peaceful, but an ominous red sunrise and approaching storm signaled trouble ahead. Their journey took a dangerous turn when a monstrous merrow hauled itself onto the deck, demanding tribute for the Scaled Queen, a 2-headed merrow blessed by a demogorgon. Errowen briefly considered using her druidic skills to de-escalate the situation, but she found herself unfamiliar with the creature. And before negotiations could unfold, Hobbs struck first, launching the party into their first battle. And together, the 4 strangers successfully vanquished the merrow, sparing the crew from having to surrender their cargo. They were grateful for their intervention, and the captain rewarded the adventurers with gold. And as the crew celebrated their victory, Thorne expertly filleted the merrow's tail, while Errowen offered salt and herbs to preserve and flavour the meat, creating a fish jerky of sorts, which may prove useful. With the storm looming still on the horizon, Stormwreck Isle awaited. And at that point, with the merrow defeated, the captain and the crew were then going to have to focus their attention on sailing through that storm. The wooden carrack was tossed quite violently on the waves to a soundtrack of thunder and angry winds. You would all have headed downstairs to safety. And for less seasoned travellers, it may have actually seemed quite the ordeal, but your crew are experienced in these waters. They navigated the tempest with relative ease. The next sunrise dawns with much more serenity, and an island is now visible off the bow of the ship. Just going to move you on there. Okay. Seaweed shimmers in brilliant colours below you. The rays of sunlight defy the still overcast sky to illuminate the lush grass and the dark basalt rock of the island. And avoiding the rocks jutting up from the ocean, your ship makes its way towards a calm harbour on the island's north side. Zoom in a little bit so you can see my ship. Your ship did sort of make it just in there.
Oh, nice.
A large open-air temple comes into view, perched on the edge of a cliff, high above you. The ship drops anchor at the mouth of the harbour, and 2 sailors usher 3 of you, Echofire, Thorne and Errowen, to a rowboat to head ashore. If anyone asks about the ginger cat, one of the sailors says, "Oh, your Tabaxi friend? Yeah, look, he's having a kip in a crate downstairs. I tried to rouse him, but he swished his tail at me angrily and told me not to disturb his catnap. If he wakes in the next hour or so, we'll send him on after you. Otherwise, he can just stay aboard until we come back through, in which case we'll probably be dropping him off in a week or so.
How much gold did the captain give us?
The captain gave you guys 10 gold pieces each.
I'll pay them 10 gold pieces to keep him on the ship. It's fine. Let him off next time.
Why are you paying me to keep him on the ship?
I was mostly being facetious.
Fair.
Yeah.
More fish jerky for us.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a fair
Beautiful.
point. He probably would have eaten some of it.
He didn't seem too keen on it anyway. He was a fresh meat kind of guy. So should we set our feet on this new isle? Are we on Stormwreck Isle?
So it takes a while to row across the bay, and you've got plenty of time to admire the shoreline and the towering statue at the center of the temple, high up on those cliffs, which depicts a wizened man surrounded by 7 songbirds. A long path winds up the side of the cliff to the temple, and you can sort of make out that it's punctuated along the way with doorways cut into the rock. But the sailors bring you to a rickety wooden dock and deposit you there. And there is another large rowboat neatly tied up to the dock. They point over to the base of the path. Up that way. Good luck. And they push themselves back towards their own ship. And your visit to Dragon's Rest has begun.
Dragon's Rest.
Errowen's gonna look around and see, besides the path up to Dragon's Rest, what else she can see from here. There's other paths or other places to go, or are we really just kind of funneled into one direction?
Down at this beach in particular, there's not a great deal that you would do. Do you want to give me some sort of check, survival nature, something like that, related to your understanding of finding paths or other ways to go?
I was hoping you'd ask for perception, because that's going to be a much better check than... that's all right. Look,
I'll allow you a perception. I'll allow you a perception check if that's what you'd like tonight.
I'm just just generally looking around, I guess. There you go, 21.
Well, you're quite perceptive. Obviously, there is the rickety dock that you guys have come in on. I can never work out the ping when I need to. This large rock over here, which I'll ping a second time, is the base of the set of stairs that you were told to follow up. And obviously you can imagine that you can see up the cliff there. Most of the rest of it is cliff space. Although you, looking over in this direction, you do think that as the tide comes in and out, it might be possible sometimes to walk further in that direction than it currently looks possible. It's early to mid-morning now, after sunrise. It's a reasonably high tide. So you're not seeing everything that might be available. But you have some sort of idea of there could be other options there.
Okay.
So if I place our 3 characters, I'm not putting you in any particular order because I'm actually going to let you order yourselves and work out what order you're walking in. Double check this again. You've got vision. And token is not working for you.
Cool.
Echofire should be controlled by Carmel. Just giving you control of your tokens again.
Nice.
For some reason, it always stops it. Errowen is controlled by Sean.
Oh, Sarah, at some stage in the next sort of hour or so, I'm gonna move computers. So
Well, that could be fun for us all. That's all right. Let's start with this. Give us an idea. We can always pause it when we need to.
Try and choose a climactic moment to do it.
Yeah, do it right before the fun stuff. So
Yeah,
you've all come
fun
off.
Stuff.
You've all come off the rowboat, come off the dock, walking across that sand. It's a coarse sand, and you can sort of traipse across it, and the tide pools are glistening in the morning light. The water's teeming with tiny darting creatures. And scattered amongst them, there's twisted driftwood, and there are some sun-bleached bones, which hint at whether it's past tempests or past fights. You wouldn't be sure. And is there anything else you'd like to do here before you start the climb?
Errowen, fair maiden, what did you see on your first scout?
In my looking around. So
Yes.
So you guys haven't seen Errowen since the fight. She's not a stranger. She's certainly not a stranger to death or violence or eating and hunting things. But for her first, I guess, big adventure in the real world, it was kind of a lot, and so she spent quite a bit of time just holed up in the cabin, and haven't seen much of her. And today, she's got a bit of the purple hair. Looks maybe a little bit more greeny blue today, but she seems happy to see familiar faces on the rowboat over, and so she tells you I guess what she saw, which is it looks like at lower tide we might be able to explore out along the beach a bit more, but doesn't look like there's much except to climb up to Dragon's Rest.
Interesting. There could be more to this beach than appears to the eye. What do you suggest?
Well, I mean, I think we should go up in the direction of where the sailors pointed us to go, but I'm not in any rush. If you guys wanted to meander around, I feel like sticking in a group is probably safer.
That sounds like an excellent idea. Did we have any rest between our last battle with the Merrow?
My apologies. I forgot to mention you can assume that you got a long rest overnight.
Oh, nice.
Not the best long rest you've ever had because it was pretty storm-tossed, but good enough to do the long resty things that you need.
Finally had a pill for what made me so sick last night.
You should have said something. I have herbs.
I will consult you next time, fair maiden. Tell me, why is it that your hair shines in so many different colors?
I'm not sure is the short answer, and the longer answer is my parents always told me it was to do with the weather. That's the only explanation I have.
Interesting. All right. shall we perch up on the beach and plan our next moves while we wait for what the beach may offer with time?
That sounds
Yeah,
like
I
a good
do.
idea.
Want to hang on the beach and see what happens when the tide goes down, or
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
okay.
I suggest we hang 10.
Well, that sounds
Before we
good.
take
While we
that any
wait-
further, and I ask where you're going to sit, sorry, Kamal, I was just going to say, did you take any damage? I can't remember if you took any damage in the fight with the Merrow.
I can't remember either. How do I?
I feel like I cure wood.
I
I
don't
think it
think
was
you
only
didn't.
Hobbs, and I feel
I think
like
it was only
cured
I think it was only
Hobbs.
Hobbs.
Yeah. Cool.
That's justice.
While we wait
That
for the
aggroed
tide to
him,
go
yeah.
down,
Mhm.
should we
Yep.
collect some driftwood in case we
Ooh.
need some
I'm sure
wood
that
for fire
yeah.
or for speedy escape if we need to make
Yeah.
a raft?
that
Excellent
sounds
idea.
like a good idea. I'm sure we can bundle that up.
Alas,
So
for reasons I cannot divulge, I am forbidden to handle wood, hand kindling.
oh,
Also, my strength is 7.
okay, all right, fine. The teenage appearing druid will sort out the handling of the heavy wood. I'm sure actually, to be honest, the dragonborn looks pretty ripped. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Between the two of
Dragonborn
you, you should be
hand-to-hand
right.
fighter.
Yeah. we should be fine. I guess
So-
sorry.
No, go for it. Finish what you were going to say.
I was going to say, so Errowen felt like she got a little bit of a measure of Thorne the other day, but Echofire seems a bit of an unknown quantity still. So I think she's curious, but also quiet enough that she's not going to ask anything, but she's just going to look furtively across that Echofire every now and then look away when Echofire looks back.
And are you two going to work together collecting the driftwood? And where are we
yeah,
going
I
to
think
do
we
that?
better bring
and
the.
I guess
We better bring the baker with us just in case.
Well, I was going to say, and Thorne, are you going to walk with them even though you're not going to help pick up the driftwood, or are you going to pick a spot somewhere on the beach and chill?
He'll tag along with them, mainly because he is a city boy, lugging around mainly cooking equipment, and severely underprepared for the environment that's around him, and he just feels more safe in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. And so, can I assume you guys have just moved yourselves around? Can I assume that you are where you
Yeah,
wish
we're
to
just
be?
looking around.
Cool. Grabbing the driftwood mainly from the tide lines.
Yeah. Driftwood, I
Yeah.
guess I'm Errowen's looking, I guess, seaweed plants, interesting conch shells. She's a big fan of nature, so she's that kid who stops and looks at every shell and pretty rock.
Could I ask each of you to give me a perception check, please?
Ooh.
Wow.
I've got beyond 20. I'm not sure if it's working.
If it's not popping up on my screen, I'm happy for you just to tell me, or you can type it into the box.
No,
that
that's
works.
good.
Yeah.
10 goals. So that was an 8 for Errowen, which is sad because she's got +5 perception.
Yes, but
15
there are
for Thorne.
so many pretty shells.
Yes,
on
that's
this page,
exactly. Yeah,
Errowen.
she's distracted by the shells.
and pretty pebbles and lovely little bits of driftwood. Carmel's somehow rolling with either advantage or disadvantage. I'm not sure, although Whichever one of those it was,
Yeah,
you
they're both
rolled
good.
quite well.
Still higher than both of ours.
But so I like the way that you've rolled that for where you guys have actually placed yourself walking up along the beach at the moment, because I think Errowen's sort of been left behind a tiny bit. I mean, you guys are all still together, but you're straggling at the back, Errowen, because there really are so many beautiful things washed up on this tide line. But I would say that Thorne and Carmel, whilst you're also distracted in some way by things that you're seeing, you do start to notice first a little bit of a ruckus of splashing and a wet gurgling moan. And as you look up and scan around to sort of see what's going on, you realize that there are 3 figures shambling towards you at the water's edge. Probably about 30-ish feet. I didn't even count that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, yeah, 35, 40. Yeah, okay. A little bit further. There you go. 40 feet away from you. Yes, it is. It is mid to late morning. Let's call it, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. These figures are dressed as sailors, but their skin is grey and they look drowned. And seawater is drooling from their slack mouths as they lurch towards you, seaweed tangled in their clothing.
Oh.
What would you like
friendly.
to do?
Errowen knows undead and has a little bit of knowledge of undead, so would hopefully recognise that.
I'm not sure if Errowen's noticed them yet.
Oh, well then in that case, Errowen is just going to keep looking at the cool shell. This one is in fact pretty. This is like a sand dollar. This one that I might keep that one actually.
Can I? Thorne peers at them and appears to recognize the shade of the skin and the attire as something he might have read in a children's book, in a book read to him when he was a child. Can I do a history check?
You may do a history check.
There we go. Oh. What are these creatures? He asks himself.
What childhood books were you reading?
Yeah, I'm very curious about your upbringing.
Maybe he was a naughty boy.
I'd say for that you recognise a couple of things. You do actually recognise something of the uniform just as being belonging to sailors of the Storm Coast. And you're fairly certain these might be zombies.
My friends, I don't know if we can reason with these creatures. Is there anything intelligible coming from them?
Gurgling, moaning.
Gurgling, moaning. I'm going to say that's a no.
You guys are taking a while to decide what we're doing.
What to do?
They may be slow. Yeah. They may be slow, but they are headed towards you.
And the path out of here, are they blocking it? Or are they
Look, they
Like,
are where you
where's
see
the path
them.
in relation to
So
Okay.
this large rock at the top in the middle here,
Yep.
where I'm pinging, is
Yep.
the beginning of your path.
Okay.
So I mean,
I
they're
see.
not standing right at the edge of the path in the sense of blocking it that way, but yes, you do need to get around them if you wish
Okay.
to get past them.
Okay.
I think we.
Presume you guys have told me that something's going on at this point.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I was just
Maybe
gonna
you've
say
gotten my
these
attention.
foul beasts are not of the natural world. I recognize them from a children's book.
Yeah. Okay. Should we run?
Should we move up the shore, get a better vantage point, and start nothing?
Stop them from getting in between us and the exit, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Above the
Mhm.
table, Sean wants the XP. Below the table, Errowen is like low-key petrified.
Cool. So before I let you start moving, even though at this point there is no combat, I am going to have us all roll for initiative just so that we can do this in some semblance of order.
Now, while this is...
So you guys actually did. You guys did quite well there.
Yeah, compared to the zombies, yeah, that's good. Before we go into initiative, Erin just unslung the shield off of her backpack, and she's now wielding her shield and carrying her staff.
Cool. So something I again love about this is that you guys are standing in this beautiful order here of Echofire, then Thorne, then Errowen, and that's the order of our initiative. So Echofire, Dragonborn, lead the way.
Okay, Echofire is going to do some mad parkour and try to jump over the zombies and get to the other side.
Why don't you just run past them?
All that. All right.
Be
Yep.
fun.
No. Sorry. No. Go jump over the zombies. I want to see this.
How much movement do you have?
How much movement do you have?
35 feet. That'll happen.
Is it 30 for you?
Wait, how do I find out?
Should be
your
above
movement,
your armor
movement
class.
speed on your...
Oh, 30.
Yeah.
Yep.
So keep in mind as well, Carmel, just sorry, I'm remembering that this is still fairly new to you. You do have an option when you're trying to do things running away or running past something speedily to action dash. So usually, obviously, we have a move and we have an action, which can be done in either order. But you can use your move plus your action to allow you to move twice. It would mean no fighting. So, it would mean no fighting. The only other thing you could do would be anything that you had that was a bonus action. But if you've got a movement speed of 30 and you actually want to go 60, you could say that you want to action dash and do that. Just also keep in mind that whichever way you're drawing that line of running, you probably don't want to go within 5 feet of any of those zombies. Because if you're in 5 feet, you're in melee range, and if you then move away from it, it may make an opportunity attack.
Okay.
So you want to skirt them by at least.
You want to go around them. Yeah.
Oh.
If you go in one of the squares that's adjacent to it and you keep going, it can do an opportunity attack as you move away.
Right. So if I do the dash, I can do something else as well. That's not an attack.
Only if you've got a bonus action.
Yeah.
So the dash uses your move and your action.
Yeah.
But the point is, it would get you where you want to go quickly. But if you want to do something like run up to one and hit it, or if you want to run up a certain distance and then do something, preparing to run again next time.
Okay, so how do I tell if I have a bonus action or not?
On your
When
character
you-
sheet,
Yeah.
there's like an actions box underneath your armor class. It'll show what you can
I'm just gonna
take
bring
as
up
your
her character
action.
sheet again.
You
I
scroll down,
think she's
and
using
it
she's using the Roll20 character sheet too. So
says, okay, never mind. Ignore me.
well,
yeah, I've got a
I-
copy of it. I'll just have a quick look.
I just can't remember how it's laid out.
From memory, I actually don't think you have any bonus.
Oh.
You must get it later.
At the moment, I don't think you have any.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll have it as something like a feat or something that's in your sort of skills and proficiencies that says, once per round as a bonus action you can do this. Or
Yeah.
if you're
So
carrying if you're playing a character that has cantrips and spells, sometimes those are bonus actions.
Yeah. So
But-
monk, all the key flurry of blows and stuff, that's all bonus action, but you don't get that until level 2.
Okay.
So you might have to kill some
Oh
zombies.
yeah, you
for
can
good
make an
old-fashioned
unarmed strike.
first.
So she can bonus action an unarmed strike as monk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So she can. Yeah. So you could attack with your weapon or yourself as your main action, and then as a bonus action, you can make an unarmed strike as a second blow, which not everyone can do.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna dash upwards.
Run for it.
Yeah. Okay. So where is dash? Or how do I dash?
You can
Just
literally
move
just
ourselves 60 feet.
Oh,
you can
just move it?
do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
60 feet will put you. 60 feet will put you at the rock almost.
Okay. Oh, wait, sorry, just moving my thing. Like there?
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably about 60
Yep,
feet.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
So that would probably be the end of your turn based on the conversation we just had about whether or not you've got bonus actions. Which moves us on to Thorne.
Thorne was feeling pretty battle ready, standing behind his dragonborn friend until she decided to dash away and carrying his load of baking gear. He appears a little bit more afraid. So how do I draw? How do I do the ruler? There we go. Here. He decides not to dash, seeing as there are three enemies. And he also has Errowen behind him. So he scoots, sort of runs parallel to the grassy area at the end of the beach. Is that 30? Is that 30? And casts his Eldritch Blast to the nearest foe, which is this guy.
This guy here.
Yeah, I'm trying to do effects, but it's not really a. Let me just roll my rolls first.
I can do you an effect.
Okay.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. Let's try that and see what we got.
He tries to keep his distance from the zombies.
There you go.
His hand. Ooh, very fiery. I love it. Sticks his hand out and fires an Eldritch Blast and yells, "Prepare to be rolled flat!"
Oh,
Do you
I love
do you have
the
a
baking
rolling pin
pun.
in your backpack?
Oh,
It could be your melee
you
weapon.
bet I do.
Yep. Yeah, boy.
Of course you do.
We'll talk about it
I
later.
love this. I love this. And so with an 18, this is a roll to hit, isn't it, with Eldritch Blast?
Roll to
Yeah.
hit, correct. Yes.
With an 18, that definitely hits this zombie, though he is a little
And then I'll
wet. How much
roll
damage
for
do you do to the
damage.
zombie?
Beep.
Woo.
Nice.
Alright, let me do some maths and
10
change
damage.
that. Cool. He's steaming up a little bit, but
Ooh.
yep, all good.
Zombies are tough.
All right. And is that the end of your go?
That is the end of my turn.
Lovely. Moving on to Miss Errowen.
So Errowen sees Echofire Naruto run up the beach, and
With the arms
thinking-
flailing behind.
yeah, is thinking of doing the same thing, and then she watches Thorne lumbering with his backpack full of cooking things, and suspecting that he smells like delicious baked goods and that he may attract the attention of the undead flesh-eating creatures. She decides also not to dash just yet. So she is going to move 30 feet, which is... She's going to move 30 feet sort of towards Thorne, so sort of somewhere in this kind of ballpark. And she is going to look at the oncoming zombie horde. 3 is not really a horde, but let's call it a horde. And she's going to cast in.
I mean, I could bring out some more if you'd like.
No.
What number do you require for a horde?
It's
Sean?
just a small horde.
One.
It's fine. That's the
Just single.
collective noun. So technically, any more than one would be fine. She's going to cast Entangle at first level, so it's a 20-foot square. They need to make each of your zombies needs to make a DC 13 Strength save.
DC 13 strength save. Sure. Just allow me a moment to check my. Actually, I might be able to do it on here with this now. Save strength submit. Right. So zombie 1. Why is that coming up as with advantage? Zombie 2.
Yeah, so I can get all 3 of them in a 20-foot square.
I don't know why this is rolling with either advantage or disadvantage. I can't work out which one it is. But regardless, the first 2 have made sense anyway, that one's a clear pass and one's a clear fail. What did you say the DC was?
13.
Cool. So zombie 1, which is the actual one that's closest to you, passed, but the other 2 zombies failed.
Okay. So the 2 zombies at the back, there's like slivers of kelp and seaweed come like rising back out of the ocean and wrap their legs, and so they're considered restrained for up to 1 minute.
Right. Up to 1 minute's worth of restraint. Cool. And that means that they can't move.
Yeah.
Can they do
so
other
restrained
things
is
at all?
restraint. Yeah, I think restrained is they can't move, but it's not the same as grappled, so they don't have disadvantage if they were doing something ranged, I think.
Okay. And is that the end of your turn? Or is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yes. No, I can't. It's 2 spells in 1 turn. No, that's it for Errowen. She's done.
All right.
Oh, restrained.
So-
Also, they're at disadvantage on dex checks if someone hits them with something.
Cool, and that's for up to 1 minute, you said.
Up to 1 minute.
I'm just gonna track that. Track that. All right, so moving on the initiative counter, then the next one becomes zombie 1, which is the zombie at the front. The zombie is going to move, and just going to check some measuring, because essentially we've got 30 feet in that direction, 40 feet in that direction, 35 in that direction. Dragonborn it is. Zombies aren't the smartest in the world, and essentially what he's going to do is move to the closest potential target. I really actually thought it was going to be Errowen from just eyeballing that, but apparently not. 5, 10, 15, 20. Good news for you is zombies are rather slow. And the other good news for you is, being a zombie, unsurprisingly, this guy has to essentially get to melee to actually hurt you. Unless I can do that. Can I do that? Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Nope, I can't do that. No, that's it. That's all he's got. That's all he's got. So he's just gonna chill there, and he's just shambling and, trying to get there. All right, moving on to zombie 2. So, as I said, I mean, these zombies, all they can do is make melee attacks, essentially. So, I would say that instead of shambling in a forwards direction, he's now just sort of trying to pick himself out of where he's stuck, and he's rather stuck. So, zombie 2 essentially is forfeiting this turn. And moving on to zombie 3 for his turn, essentially the same thing. So those two are stuck. And that brings us back to the top of the round.
They can make a strength save next turn to try and free themselves.
Next turn, yeah. Now that brings us back to the top of the round. And that's your turn, Echofire.
Okay. Echofire sees the zombie coming towards her, and she thinks back to her days at the temple when she was soaking in all of that wisdom from the other senior monks. So can I think back to any teachings that I have received about the dead and how we can, and what their weaknesses are?
You did say that you had some experience with the undead, and yes, that's appropriate for someone who spent some time in a temple in some ways, depending on what you've been taught. Would you do a check for me, please? Now, I'd give you a choice between something like an Arcana check or a History check, whichever one you think you can do better on.
What was the first one you said?
Arcana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're both intelligence checks. So if you've got proficiency in one,
I have 0 for both.
Yep. Okay.
That was roll me a flat dice then.
It works.
What about insight? Is insight on a thing that I can do?
Look, I wouldn't usually accept an insight for something like this because an insight's usually going to be more sort of thinking about someone's motifs or whether or not they're telling you the truth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can tell you the motive of the zombie right now.
Or if it were further through the combat and enough things had happened that you might be able to put them together.
Yeah.
So look, with a rather low roll, I'm not sure if that was your history or your arcana check, but with a rather low roll, I'm gonna say that you definitely remember learning stuff about the undead. You remember learning that they're very hard to kill on account of how they're like already undead. You sort of remember that they did have something special about them related to the fact that they were hard to kill. But honestly, you're rather terrified right now because this is the first time you've actually had a real live undead coming towards you.
Echofire slept through that day at the temple.
So at this point, you can't really remember anything that's going to help you out.
Okay. All right. Can I do another thing, or is that it for me?
I'm happy to say that wasn't so much as your action as just you trying to remember if you knew anything.
Okay.
I'll let you do something if you'd like to.
Okay, so we've got our driftwood, and I have a tinderbox in my items. Can I make myself some fire on a stick to chuck at a zombie if it comes near me? Okay, do it. Wait, so what do I do? Like,
I reckon you just say that as an action, right?
Tinderbox
Yeah, you can just say
it. Literally just to make it, or do I need to manage?
Do you want to move or do you want to stay still?
I'm just double checking whether or not you need to roll anything for it. At least I'm trying to double check.
Let her have the fire stick.
Well, there you go. You do have something that's a bonus action. Using your tinderbox is a bonus action.
Oh.
Really?
So there you go. You may bonus action light one of your pieces of wood alight, provided it was a dry piece of driftwood.
Okay. Yeah, it was. So I don't need to roll to do that?
So now it was. No, you don't need to roll to do that. You're now holding a torch.
Perfect. And can I move a bit away? Closer to my companions. Okay.
You can move. So you can move up to 30 feet.
All right. Whoop. Oh. Okay. Done.
Done. And that moves us back to our baker. Thorne, it's your turn.
All right. So Thorne, seeing how his first Eldritch Blast managed to start steaming this foe, he begins to get excited, seeing that his fire-based skills appear to be working. He walks... Oh, sorry, wrong screen. He walks back just to keep his distance away from the enemy and goes,
Mm-hmm.
"You're toast, buddy!" and summons a bonfire underneath with his cantrip. Create
Underneath
bonfire.
which zombie?
Sorry, underneath the weakened zombie closest to his companion. And it is a
That
dex
bonfire
saving
right
throw.
there?
Yeah, that's the one.
Cool. That bonfire right there.
Wow. I need a better
That's the
graphics card
one.
on my laptop.
Same.
Um,
I'm
yeah.
still having fun doing it.
Yeah. That lags my computer.
Alright. And for that dex save,
Yep.
what
You'll take half
was
of
the
this damage.
what was the passing for the save?
It was 13.
Like what was the 13
Oh, dex saving.
of 13 though?
13.
And if I save, I take
DC
half
13,
damage. Cool.
half
And is
of
that?
one.
Can I just
Well,
double check? Is this?
It seems to be
is this
one
gonna
fire
be
damage. So
fire damage technically?
Correct.
Half of one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, look, he did
One.
pass, but he's still taking one because let's face it, we halve it and round it up.
Round up. Huge. Broken character.
Oh, good. So he took a fire damage.
A single damage.
Any bonus actions? Anything else? that you wanted to
No.
do?
This one didn't seem to have nearly as much effect, and he becomes a little bit disheartened. But that's the end of his turn.
Okay. So then we're moving on to Errowen.
okay. Errowen is going to. She's sort of still quite a ways down the beach, and only now does she put down the conch shell that she's been looking at. The seaweed conjuring was just like a one-handed, absent-minded thing, but now she sort of has to focus a little bit because there's eldritch blasts and bonfires and stuff happening. And thinks that the zombie that's up the beach is a little bit hurt, and the other two are not at all hurt. So she's going to ice knife. Range is 60 feet. Yeah, that's heaps. So she's going to ice knife the two zombies that are close together. She's going to target the closest one. And there we go. So
Do they both get hit at the same time when you say the two
no.
of them?
So I hit the first one. So that's a 24 to hit. So I assume that
that hits the first
yeah,
one.
great. So she deals 10 points of piercing damage to that front zombie. And then the shard of ice that she threw from her staff explodes. And both of the zombies have to make a DC 13 dex save, which they have disadvantage on because they're restrained.
Oh, nice. I forgot to do a disadvantage on a dex saving throw.
Okay, so the zombie at the front fails it. Give me a moment.
So he takes an extra 5 cold damage.
Both fail it.
Yeah, so they both take an extra 5
So
cold
they each
damage.
take
The guy at
5
the front
cold
takes
damage?
15 and the guy at the back takes 5. Yep.
Sorry, when you say the guy at the front takes 15, you mean
sorry,
we took 10?
sorry.
We took 10
Yeah, so he takes
piercing
10
plus 5 cold.
piercing
Yeah.
from the actual spell, and then they both take 5 cold from the ice shard exploding.
Lovely.
And
Well done.
that is Errowen's not going to move just yet, and so that's the end of her turn.
Sure. That moves us on to zombie number 1, who once again is going to go for an attack. 5, 10, 15, 20. Wow. He finally got himself in an attack spot, and he would attempt to slam up against the Dragonborn. Does a 22 hit?
So
What's
what's
your
your
What's your armor
damage
class,
class?
Carmen? What's your AC?
What does that mean?
So on your character sheet, there's like a little shield picture, and it'll say AC or armor class.
Well, it's 10.
You've got an armor class of
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
So what did I say? A 22 hits.
22 hits. Yeah.
So you've just taken 4. Yep, you've just taken 4 bludgeoning damage from the zombie.
Oh.
Are you wearing? Is she wearing above the table?
She's meant to be.
Carmel, is your character wearing armor?
I thought so.
Yeah. So
No.
yeah, I was going to say so.
Mine's got a bonus, right?
We might just have a look at the. We'll have a look in a minute. We'll have a look at your character sheet and just see if it's adding it up correctly. Because as a monk, your armor class should be 10 plus Dex plus Constitution if you're not wearing armor, so it should be higher than 10. 10 is low. Errowen is Errowen is
the
a
thing is
weighted
that her dex is a 0 and her Constitution is 0.
Okay.
Yep,
well,
but her.
Okay.
That explains a lot.
Unless she's got armor and it's not been added.
Do you know what, Carmel? We're gonna have to go back and check on these because you haven't done a full points buy. Oh, I didn't notice that the first time through. Sorry. We need to go back and check on your stats.
All right. Cool.
To be fair, even if we upped it by a few at the moment. No. I've just realised you haven't done a full points buy because you've got a 3 strength and a 3 charisma, but you've got a 0 dex, con, intelligence, and wisdom. So you've only added 6. You had a lot to play with. We will go back and sort that between this week and next week. But even if we were to add a few more points to you for now, like that 22 still
you still hit. Yeah.
So
all right.
Let's for the remainder of this, let's call it.
But you're
15.
gonna hit back harder.
If I'm trying to hit, if I'm trying to hit you again for the remainder of tonight, let's call it a 15. But then I'll work it out with you between now and next week. We'll get it sorted.
Cool.
All right, so that's that zombie's turn. Let's mark that off on there. All right, so we move on to zombie number 2, who is still a tad stuck. So he's going to do a strength saving throw to see if he can get out.
DC
What's the
13.
DC I need to pass for this one?
13.
Awesome. So he's out.
Okay. He
He's
breaks
out,
free of the kelp.
and he's going to start walking. He breaks free of the kelp and he goes and escapes. But that's all we can do this time around. And then we move on to zombie number 3, and he's also going to do a strength check to see if he can escape. And he cannot. He remains stuck in the kelp.
Yeah.
And thus it is the end of his go. And we're back to the top of the round. Carmel, would you like some revenge?
I would love some revenge.
Yes.
Tell me what
Let
you
the
will do
hate
to this
flow.
zombie standing in front of you.
Can I set them on fire with my fire stick?
I mean, why not?
All right, I'm gonna do that. I need to roll?
You're gonna have to roll. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll something for like. So, are you actually trying to hit it with the stick, or are you literally just like shoving the fire stick at it to see what happens?
We're gonna hit it, and then we're gonna set their hair on fire.
So you're hitting it over the head with fire. Cool. Do
Yeah.
you want to roll me a? I'm just looking at your normal actual weapons and attacks. So do you want to roll me a d20 plus 5 for your attack roll, and we'll see whether or not you manage to hit him.
So do I just click on dice and then, or what? How do I?
If you just want to click on dice, roll a d20, and we can just add 5 to it. Or actually, even just roll one of your normal attacks, because your normal attacks are plus 5.
Okay.
I think you somehow rolled me an intimidation check there.
Oh.
Rather than an attack.
Was the zombie intimidated?
You actually rolled a nat 20. No, hold on. I mean, look, regardless of what you rolled a dice, and the die, and the one that you rolled a nat 20, and it's a nat 20 plus 5. I don't know where it got the 3 from because it's doing a different check. But essentially, you've done a 25, which will hit, and you just rolled a crit, and that means you do double damage. Now, again, I'm looking at your normal stats. So let's call it a 1d4 plus 3 fire damage, which means you can roll us 2d4 plus 6. So if you roll 2d4, and we'll add a 6.
The suspense.
Wait, is that all right?
Okay, so 1d4 was a 1. Roll me one more d4.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got 4 plus 6 is 10. Oh, wow. May I say that this zombie appears to be more undead than he was before, very much on his last legs. But he's still standing somehow.
Okay.
So on your turn, movement, action, bonus action. So that's your action to hit it. You can move, and because you're a monk, you can hit it again, just like with your hand.
Okay, I'm gonna move. Gonna yeet towards
just
my companions.
Oh,
hit again.
So if you, so if you move away from it, you'll
keep in mind that if you move,
Oops.
I am super impressed with the fact that you rolled a crit for that hit. Would you give me one more intelligence check, please?
Oh, she's just fallen out of StreamYard.
Yep, she coming.
There we go. We'll get her back. There she is. So, Carmel, I was just saying that we were super excited by your crit there. Could you just roll me one more intelligence check, please. Just that buoyed by the fact that you've actually hit it reasonably hard, and although it's not dead, it is looking quite on its last legs. And something in the way that you hit it so expertly over the head and did quite a significant amount of damage suddenly brings back to you some of the memories from those lessons that you thought you'd forgotten. And you remember something useful, which I don't think your teammates know. And so obviously it would be up to you whether or not to share them with them. Siobhan and Eric are just going to pretend for a moment that they don't hear me say this. You remember that when you're fighting zombies, they have a special strength related to being undead, that when they get close to actually properly dying, you either need something that does radiant damage, or you need to hit them very, very, very hard in order to actually kill them, or they just manage to keep staying just alive.
All right.
By very, very, very hard, I obviously mean you need to do a crit. Yeah, so the crit would have been helpful if you'd just done a little bit more damage. You actually would have killed it. But either just dealing damage you can do, but when they're about to die, you need radiant damage or a crit.
All right. Okay. Echofire looks at her companions and she quickly screams out the information that she has remembered.
Radiant
So
damage.
possibly you'd say something like, "Do any of you guys have radiant damage?"
Yep. She says that.
Otherwise, just hit them as hard as you can. Yeah, sorry, your fire is not going to work for actually killing them.
That might be a problem. Just gonna have to keep hitting them.
Otherwise, you're just going to have to keep hitting them till they crit.
Okay.
Also, it's metagaming because I'm sure that Errowen probably wouldn't know this, but she's out of spell slots. So
Yeah. We've used a few spells already. That's nice.
I mean, we briefly slowed down some dudes and threw some ice tubes, but
we were sort of winning. Okay.
You were sort of winning.
We're sort of winning.
You still are sort of winning. What are you going to do to help that happen, Thorne?
What can I do to help that happen? Thorne, as a special action, summons his hacked item, which in this game is, I don't know if I added it proper to my spell list because it was a custom one. Summon. Manage custom. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Did that come through?
Infernal.
Yep.
Produces one pastry per companion. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
So then an infernal oven
like
sort of pops up right in the middle of the two. I'm sorry, I don't have a graphic for it, but imagine a circle that I will draw here like that. Is that okay, Sarah?
Yeah, that'll do for now. I'm trying to find you one.
And my companions and I roll a d12. Which There we go. So, the infernal oven rumbles and thrums, glowing and shoots out an oven in each direction to each of his companions. In Errowen's hand is a jelly of many flavors. In Carmel's hand arrives a fairy dust macaron. And in mine is a 10. Is a dreamy star pie. Thorne decides to eat it as his action. And he falls asleep.
Okay.
Yep.
Took a gamble on that one, did we?
Didn't say
Okay.
they all for you.
Okay. Yep. This is like I played with a wild magic sorcerer recently, and this is exactly the same. It's like sometimes it's good, sometimes shit
Oh, dear.
happens.
Sometimes it may be good, and sometimes it may be shit. So
Oh,
he
dear, that's
is asleep for
brilliant.
2 minutes until someone wakes me. Now, you guys don't have to eat the pastries, but know that Thorne will somehow still know whether or not you've eaten it.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, he'll know because we'll all be asleep and mauled by zombies.
So you have a jelly of many flavors.
Jelly of many
and,
flavors. Okay.
And Echofire has a fairy dust macaron, and of course that's the end of my turn, for obvious reasons.
Brilliant.
Okay. Errowen is very excited by
I'm just trying to find my there we go, my cheat sheet list,
jelly
so I know what they
situation.
do.
But she's I mean, her parents were really like hippie druid parents, so she didn't learn a lot of traditional teachings, but she definitely did learn don't take the candy from the stranger. So she's going to hold off on the jelly just for a second.
It's an important life lesson.
Yeah. She's going to wait until afterwards. The jelly seems like a thing that we might enjoy later.
It's definitely
Just
your
looking-
turn though, because he's asleep.
Yeah, looking at the 3 zombies that I can see, are they looking hurt? Who's looking the most hurt?
The most hurt is definitely the one in front of Echofire.
Okay,
Really looks quite almost dead.
almost dead again. Yep. Okay.
The almost like properly dead as opposed to just undead. Yeah. I would say that the one coming up the beach towards you probably looks the next hurt.
Okay. All right.
It's a little bit hard to tell with zombies because they kind of look really, that it's look, let's just remember that we're doctors for a moment. This is the end of the bed test. None of them looked good to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. So look, Erin's going to close into melee because she's now run out of useful spell things that she can do. So she's going to advance to this is zombie chap. Bonus action is Shalala, and she's going to hit it with her quarterstaff, which is actually her dad's quarterstaff, and that's a 17 to hit.
That hits. How much damage can you do for me?
That's 5 bludgeoning damage.
5 bludgeoning.
Sad.
This one is now looking pretty close to proper dead.
Okay. And then I've used my bonus action. So bonus action, and movement, I'm done. So she's going to stay where she is. And she's going to shout. She's not really like a loud or obnoxious person, but she's going to shout abuse at Thorne to try and wake him up. The conch shell. She's going to throw the conch shell.
Wow.
Does he have to take damage?
I mean,
to wake up?
that's a long. I was gonna say that's a long way to throw it. Do you think she can throw it?
Fine.
Oh, 30 feet. Yeah,
I'm willing to let. No, I'm willing to let you try. I'm willing to let you try, Sean.
It's 10 meters. She does have girl arms.
10 meters.
No, to the girl arms, but she's like a fit, like brought up
Hey,
in
girls
nature
can
chick.
throw too, Sean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dex
So
check.
do you want to roll me a dex
Athletics.
check? Sounds good. Whatever you think you're gonna do better.
Yep.
Yeah.
The shell goes.
Druid,
Okay.
Those girls a bad name.
warrior.
Hey?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Druid for the win.
Cool. So we're back to the first zombie, which is the one up against Echofire, and he, with what tiny bit of strength he has left, is going to slam into Echofire again. Does a 5 hit? No. So
It does not.
good news for you is he fails to hit you. Look, he's really hanging on by his last legs, and it's not working well for him. Moving on to zombie 2, who's one right in front of Errowen. He's also really struggling right now, but he does have a potential victim in front of him, so he will slam into Errowen. Does a 17 hit?
AC's 15. Yeah, she's hit.
Yeah, that's a 7 bludgeoning damage.
7 damage.
Yep.
Okay. She takes a hit. She's looking bloodied already.
Then we're moving on to zombie number 3, who I was actually counting the turn trackers, so he doesn't even need to roll. We're past a minute, and he's no longer stuck in kelp. So he is going to start heading 5, 10, 15, 20, but not going to quite make it to hit anyone this turn. Bringing us round to the top of the round, we are once more with Echofire. Echofire, would you like to attempt to hurt the zombie in front of you, or disengage and run away from him?
Echofire has a crowbar. Can she whip that out and hit the zombie? Okay.
And hope that you roll another 20. Go for it.
Okay. So do I just roll for like a D20?
You should just be able to roll the. You should just be able to roll the attack next to your. Oh, hold on. This is your crowbar, not your actual normal attack. If you just roll one of your normal attacks, because it'd be a very similar hit.
How tasty does the macaron look, though?
It do be looking tasty, but I don't want to risk it.
If you hadn't fallen asleep, we'd all be a pastry geek by now.
I had a dreamy star pie. It was different.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So okay, which ones are my attacks?
So on your character sheet, sort of middle column, second box down, the little title at the bottom is attacks and spell casting. And what I have in mind is quarterstaff one-handed and quarterstaff two-handed, and there's a +2 in a box. So if you click the +2, that should roll your attack roll, or the plus whatever, and then the the damage next to it.
Let me see what I can
Oh, she critted again.
Wow.
Yeah.
How?
She
Wow.
just critted again.
That's crazy.
Carmel, congratulations. Would you like to tell me what it looks like as the zombie in front of you dies?
The zombie shrivels into dried seaweed, like the stuff that you can roll sushi with. So she collects it up and she hands it to Thorne for some sushi later.
Well,
Mm.
he's asleep, but if you want to go over there, you could just
true.
lie on top of him or something.
Okay, she
I mean, look,
pockets
if you've
it for
done
when he wakes up.
Yeah. So look, you've had your action. Congratulations, you've actually killed one of the zombies. Would you like to move, or would you like to stay where you are?
I'm going to move closer to Thorne and try to wake him up.
Yeah.
I would allow you to do something as a bonus action to attempt to wake him up, like shake him.
Unarmed strike.
Unarmed
Face
strike.
Yeah. Non-lethal unarmed strike, but if you'd like to do it, if you do roll above his AC, you can wake him up.
All right, I'll do a non-lethal one.
Please don't crit.
You wake up briefly, only to be whacked back into unconsciousness.
Oh my god.
Does an 18 hit?
It does hit.
So
killed me.
you were dreaming. You were dreaming of beautiful pastries, and all of a sudden you're being whacked by your supposedly new friend, the Dragonborn. But you are now awake again.
Who put this seaweed on my face?
Yep. You wake up from a dreaming
delicious.
nap to find a dead zombie and down the beach a 14-year-old engaged in combat with 2 zombies. Help.
What's going on? Okay.
And it's your
good.
turn, so if you'd like
I'm
to
awake.
help now would be the time to do it.
He goes, "This is not how I imagined the fight would go." He curses his patron under his breath, whose name I did not reveal. And I'll just move Thorne.
You want to be careful cursing him.
It's not like they can take the pact away, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And goes, "You two look a bit undercooked," and fires a firebolt. Oh god. Oh, it's a crit one. Yeah. So that happened.
Okay.
Was that a 6?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
nat 1
yeah.
plus 5.
Nat 1.
You missed. Good news is you didn't quite hit Errowen, but it was damn close.
Whew.
Turquoise hair's a little singed.
Grumbles under
Anything
his
else you
breath.
wish to do?
Got anything else?
No, I think he's sufficiently contributed to this fight so far.
Good.
He ends his turn.
Awesome. Errowen, how are you going with your undead?
She's having a good time. She is now just kind of tunnel visioned and really not noticing a lot other than the 2 sailors in front of her. She's going to swing again with her quarterstaff, which is Shillelagh lasts for a minute, so it's +5 to hit. Does a 13 hit the zombie?
Yes, it does hit.
Oh, okay. Well, then she does 9 bludgeoning damage to the zombie that's in front of her.
Mm.
And then
So,
she thinks, yeah? Go on, tell me something good.
so the zombie looks as though it's as though it's died. Like
It went down and
appears
back
to
up.
be dying. It
Okay.
goes down. Allow me to roll this convo. And then, yeah, look, somehow it just gets back up again. And I mean, it really is looking pretty damaged, but it's still there and it's still a threat.
Oh,
Sad. Okay, well,
we're almost there.
We're almost there. Yeah. So running away will provoke a attack of opportunity, and Errowen is already fairly bloodied. So she is going to do something that she's only been able to do under extreme stress before, and she's going to think back to when she met the Dream Wisp, who's a fae that she encountered, and she's going to Misty Step 30 feet, which she can do once per long rest, because I don't want to get hit again. And I'm guesstimating 30 feet is somewhere back here, or even back there somewhere, and that's enough for her. She is going to just take a knee, and when she just appears between the two of you, you can, like, she's got blood streaming from various bite wounds, and she doesn't look great. And that's it.
All right. Zombie number 2 looks a bit confused. I mean, not that any of them looked that with it to begin with, but he could have sworn there was someone in front of him a moment ago, and he starts heading off in that direction. But he can't quite make it to you guys. And zombie number 1 also heads in that direction and also can't quite make it to you guys. And we find ourselves back at the top of the round with Dragonborn. Echofire, it's your turn.
Which zombie is looking weaker?
So the zombie that is closer to you at the moment looks really almost dead, like that one that had looked almost dead before you managed to crit it for a second time.
Mm-hmm.
But with the knowledge that you did remember before, you're aware of the fact that you would have to do something quite incredible to make this one die.
That's all right. She's been rolling nat 20s all night.
Oh, I know.
Do it again.
Okay.
Come on, just roll us another nat 20.
Do it.
Echofire has a sickle.
Yeah.
Can I get to a safe... Is my sickle long enough to be a safe distance away, but also be able to do a slice?
No, the sickle's a 5 foot reach.
Melee weapon.
So yeah, it's not like a Grim Reaper sickle. It's like a Stalin Communist Party sickle.
Okay. All right. Okay. Echofire is gonna.
The Communist Party was a thing in Faerun a few years ago.
Okay. Echofire is gonna step up. And then I'm going to use my sickle. Oh.
So you do hit. Please roll for damage.
What one do I do?
So
for
next
that?
year, I was going to say, so next to the +5 that you clicked for the sickle, there's a damage which will be like 1d6 or something.
Okay. Ooh.
As you hit him, he crumples to the ground dead. But once again, he rises to his feet.
Above the table, is this a thing that he makes a save for? Or is this just going to keep happening until we crit him? Yeah. Okay, you can't tell me. Fine.
Above the table, this is called Undead Fortitude, and yes, he's making a save. It is theoretically possible for him to fail that save and him to actually die without you having had the radiant damage or the crit, but if you have radiant damage or you crit him, he doesn't even get to try the save.
Okay.
Right, thinking back.
Where's the paladin?
And the harder you hit him, the less likely he is to save.
Right.
Okay.
Like the damage that you deal makes a difference to his save.
Okay. Can Echofire feed half of her fairy dust macron to the zombie and cross her fingers that there will be some bad effect of it?
I will allow you to bonus action shove a macaron in his face.
Yeah.
But you do risk getting your fingers bitten. You'll have to do a dexterity save to find out whether or not he bites your fingers.
All right. That is a risk I'm.
At this point,
Thorne goes, no. Not the macaron.
Turns out the macaron deals 5d8 radiant damage.
Right. Hold on. I just need to roll a d4. You do take 2 damage to your fingers, but you do successfully get the macaron into the zombie's mouth.
Maybe they were just hungry. Maybe it settles him.
You guys have got here.
Have you got the
Look,
effect? Yeah?
all you notice at the moment is that this very almost dead again undead zombie starts to sparkle.
Okay.
That is all.
He
Sparkly
is
zombie.
a sparkly zombie. What can I say?
He's a zesty zombie.
A sparkly zombie.
Awesome.
Oh no. Yeah, it's Thorne.
There you go.
We need to take him out now.
I love that. That was brilliant. Thorne.
We have to take out the sparkly zombie now. Turns his firebolt charged arms against zombie number 2 and rolls. Oh, you're freaking kidding me. Oh, God. That's pretty dire.
You missed.
Twice in a row. Should I be dead? Like, what's going on?
That is pretty dire. Do you have anything else you can do?
I
I mean, I would tell you to put it in dice jail, but you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no,
Just
it's
throw the-
beyond. You can't. Did your oven make a pastry for Hobbs, even though he's not with us because he's a companion?
No, he didn't. It has to be within 20 feet. I can. No, I can't. I don't have any other. All right, that's the end of my miserable turn.
Cool. Our injured Errowen.
Okay.
Where are we at with you?
So Errowen, I mean, she doesn't have much left up her sleeve at this point. She's sort of down on one knee and looking pretty poorly, but she sees the sparkly zombie and sees that Thorne is distressed by the sparkly zombie and wonders briefly if there's something coming, some kind of delayed effect that he knows about and hasn't told us about. But she's gonna get back up and she's gonna hit whichever one looks the worst. Is it the sparkly one looks worst anyway, isn't it?
Sparkly one is the one that's pretty much died twice already.
Okay, fine. So she gets up to 5 feet with him. She takes a big deep breath and can I roll this with advantage? Am I flanking him? Or I can be somewhere where I'm
yeah, I'll
flanking
give
him.
you that. Sure.
Okay. Advantage. There you go. +5. So 17 to hit.
This is a hit. Could you please roll for damage?
And she does 9 bludgeoning damage.
9 bludgeoning damage. So once again, for the third time, this zombie crumples to the floor. And this time he doesn't get up.
No. Yes.
Yeah, boy.
This time he does not get up.
Let's go, teenager.
So Errowen now looks like that person at the end of a 10K run who has decided they can do this with no prep, and just looks like she's barely standing up now at this point.
No.
As a bonus action, can I?
She's gonna need the first aid
jelly
kit.
of many flavors. Yeah, can I have the jelly of many flavors as my bonus action?
Oh yeah, true. You have
Go
to
for
roll a
it.
d4.
Go for
A
it.
D4.
Yeah, roll a d4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
2.
You
Earwax.
don't feel
Cold.
much of a difference in yourself, but maybe the cold doesn't seem to be getting to you as much as it did before.
Cold never bothered me anyway. No, wait, that's the wrong druid.
Oh.
Hey.
Well done. Well done.
You've gained resistance to cold.
Okay, good.
For 10
Good
minutes.
to know. Yep.
All right. Mr. Zombie number 3. Still alive and still looking pretty good.
Oh no.
I just rolled a crit to hit you.
Great.
Errowen.
I was thinking about whether I should have said Errowen now moves back, but no, she's shattered. She probably doesn't move back at this point. She's just like surprised that the zombie went down and she stays still where she is. So, yeah, okay, she crits. Okay.
Errowen, that's 11 bludgeoning damage.
Errowen's down.
Oh.
So you
Errowen kind of just the last hit of it ever, and she flops down unconscious.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Okay. Sorry, Errowen.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Carmel, I think this is the first time that you have seen one of our actual characters get to the point of no hit points. Just so you know, it's not quite as dire as the other things that die.
I mean, it's dire. It's dire. Don't you understand this? 6 me, right?
Has got potential for some saving throws.
Okay.
Can also be stabilized with something like an appropriate medicine check, or if anyone happens to be carrying anything appropriate. But also, whilst lying on the ground, feeling, don't put the red cross yet. She's not dead yet. Whilst lying on the ground, unconscious and pretty much on the way out, she's also more at risk of being properly killed by a well-timed hit.
Right.
But that is the end of that zombie's turn. And Echofire, what would you like to do?
Okay. Okay, Echofire is going to move closer to a zombie. And then don't know. Can she consult with Thorne for some inspo on plan of attack?
Does your character have like a bonus, like a second hit sort of mech, or
Yeah.
if you
I
do
have
like
no
unarmed
idea.
strike?
Errowin's unconscious but nodding.
Okay, yep.
So you can the monk gets unarmed strike as a bonus action, so you can hit something with a weapon and then take a second unarmed strike, so like with your offhand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so. I don't remember fully, but
Okay. I also have some rope. Could I
like you want to
attempt to
hold
tie?
You would have to.
You can grapple them.
I mean, I would argue that you would have to grapple him. You'd have to grapple him first, which is a contested check. But I would also argue that, I mean, this is a zombie that still has a large amount of his health. And so you probably would need both of you to do this. Like, one of you would need to grapple him and then the other would need to tie him. Because if you grapple him and then let go, he's not grappled to be tied.
All right. Okay. I'll keep that in the back of my mind for when we get him weaker.
Tie him up.
I think we just smack him.
Yeah. Okay. I have a hammer. I can smack him with a hammer.
And I am going to make you. I'm going to make you make your decision now, though, because remember that our turns in initiative are about 6 seconds long. So I think you guys have been talking for a bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay,
so please make your decision. All right. Please roll me a hit.
Okay, so wait, I forgot what do I roll a d20 for that? Oh. Okay, wait.
Just use, as you say, I'll just use your attack. Yeah, just one of the pluses next to you. Yeah, we can.
That's an 18 to hit, and that does indeed hit. Could you please roll for damage? 3 damage.
There was another nat 20 in that too. That's ridiculous.
Was it?
Oh no, sorry, it's an 18. As you say, it's an 18. No, never mind. I was like,
yeah.
3 damage.
Yeah.
And the unarmed strike as well on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So they can do the unarmed strike.
And I don't know what your character sheet looks like, Carmel, but you can use your dex modifier instead of your strength modifier, whichever one's higher, for all your
So
light weapons.
so that also hits.
Ooh.
That also hits if you'd like to roll me some damage. Ooh,
Wow.
that was a damn good hit. I mean, not good enough to actually kill him or anything, but well done. He's looking significantly weaker than he did before. So you've moved, you've actioned, you've bonus actions. We're back to Thorne.
All right. Thorne sees the effort that he's going through Echofire's valiant flurry of blows, and distressed at the knocking out of Errowen, he runs around and flanks the zombie. Does that count as a flank if he positions himself there?
Deliberately not in melee.
Deliberately not in melee, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
guess
think
it does.
something is
That seems to make
is it?
sense. Or do they have to be next to each other?
I know, I thought something only gave advantage to melee attacks. I didn't think it's like the idea is that they're distracted by the other person and you can, slip the knife in or something. But equally, I want you to kill the zombie, so it looks like something to
Yeah,
me.
you've got to be
I'll look it up for next time.
You've got to be within 5 feet. You've got to be
Okay, no worries.
No, I've just looked it up. You've got to be within 5 feet. You've got to be in melee.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Kill it.
So he
Kill it.
rolls for an Eldritch Blast. Does it hit?
It does hit.
Oh! Okay. Oh, goodness. Give me something good. For 5 damage.
And 5. This zombie is starting to look very close to joining his mates. But he's not dead yet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else to do on your turn, Thorne?
No, I don't have anything else to do. That's mine.
Wow. Moving back to Errowen, would you like to make your first saving throw?
That'd be a 10.
That would be a save, isn't it?
It is, according to Beyond. I was like, I can't remember, but Beyond says it's a save. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
10 or
Well,
10 or higher.
fair.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
straight 10. 10 or higher is a save.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's your first good, which is good. So we've got 1 of 3 done. Good. And that moves us on to zombie number 1, who is going to attack the threat closest to him. So this is Dragonborn again. And he slams into Echofire. Give it a moment. It's taking its time rolling. Does it want to roll? I'll try again. It did then roll twice, so I'll go with the first one that I rolled because I didn't mean to roll it twice. Does a 7 hit? Echofire.
Okay.
I believe the answer is no.
Yeah, what did we land on as the Chem 3 AC? Can we say?
We were going to say 15 for now, but I think it was 10 even at base. So a 7 doesn't hit. So good news is that's zombie's done. Echofire, it's your turn.
Okay. I am going to go back in with my sickle.
Sure. Please roll me a hit. An 8 just hits. Could you please roll me some damage? Once again, like the zombies before him, this zombie falls to the ground. And once again, like the zombies before him, he gets back up again.
Can I do my unarmed strike now? Again?
You may do your unarmed strike, you may indeed.
Okay.
Whew. Neither of those are a natural 20, but you definitely hit him. Would you please, again, roll me some damage? 5 bludgeoning damage. And would you please tell me what it looks like as the final zombie dies?
Okay. As he dies, he melts into the ground and he turns into a nice little seafood basket of prawns and clams and sashimi.
We were always going to eat someone today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Sean?
And said we were always going to eat someone.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That got a little bit
A little bit dire, yeah.
That did get a little bit dire. We're now officially dropped out of initiative and your 3 enemies are dead. But Thorne and Echofire, you do still have your friend unconscious on the floor.
Yeah.
If you would like to band together to do a medicine check, I will allow whichever one of you is rolling it to roll with advantage, because there are 2 of you to do that medicine check to see if you can stabilize your friend.
Oh, I've got a +2, but I have been rolling like shit. So
Yeah, I kind of want to echo side and roll.
no particular reason.
We're not,
My medicine is
we're not
0,
superstitious at all, right? We're really scientific.
Yeah. It's very evidence-based.
He whips out 2 sort of amorphous blob pastries and goes like, I think this will fix her.
Oh no. All right. Echofire, would you like to roll a medicine check with advantage?
All right, I'll do it.
Don't worry,
Okay.
the same thing happens in real life when people ask me for medical advice. So.
What? Try one of my unmarked pastries.
Not this guy. Not this guy.
A 16 is high enough. You needed to roll at least a 10. Sean is stabilized. Oh, well, Errowen is stabilized.
Excellent. Okay.
So at this point, you guys haven't even made it off the beach. But you have successfully defeated 3 zombies, despite the fact that they had significant fortitude and that you guys were eating weird pastries, you're quite damaged, but you're still alive. Now, when we start next time, I guess you're going to have to decide if you guys are chilling down here on the beach for some sort of long rest to try and do some healing, or if you are going to pick your way up those stairs and see what help you can or cannot find up at Dragon's Rest. But I think that having survived your second encounter for the campaign, which was quite a difficult one, between this week and next week, you may level up.
Woo!
Hey.
I'm getting that.
Errowen will be pleased when she returns to consciousness.
When she returns to consciousness, she'll be very pleased. As I say, you guys are gonna have to make some decisions about whether or not you're chilling down here or trying to carry her up the stairs a bit. But she's at least stable and not currently dying.
Next week is just a total of limited training. Like, remember that druid chick that we met last week? Wonder how she's going.
Wonder how she's going indeed.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you much, Lee. Baron. So we need to fix
Sean,
Camel's,
you've still got your voice on, and we're struggling to hear you a bit again. I mean, it does sound very nice. No, you're definitely the 14-year-old girl at the moment.
Yeah.
Then it's so bizarre because I swear to God, it's off.
No, it's definitely
Okay, there you go. No, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
No, there we go. Sean's
Apparently,
back.
teenage girl voice just happens automatically. I was going to say, we need to fix Camel's character sheet. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll check in with Carmel and fix the character sheet, and probably also talk you through leveling up a bit as well.
Okay.
I think Sean and Eric will be okay to level themselves up for next week. And we will come back as level 2 characters on the beach and work out where to go from there. Congratulations on surviving that one.
Everyone's still good for next Sunday.
Hey, TTRPG Tribe. If you like what we're doing here, feel free to give us a rating or a review to spread the message of doctors having a life outside medicine, of the good value of having some creative hobbies for burnout avoidance, and also just the good fun of rolling some dice with friends. We are not a medical advice podcast, and we feature a range of doctors from medical students through to doctors in training and, of course, fellow consultants. We record this podcast on a range of locations throughout Australia. We recognise the traditional owners of the land, and we pay respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging.